Fourth anniversary of the People's Referendum, where more than 29,000 Belizeans voted on the issue of whether or not they wanted offshore drilling activities to be conducted in Belizean waters. When the count was in, more than 96% of voters voted against the inherent dangers of oil in Belize's marine environment. Vice President of OCEANA Belize, Janelle Chanona, talked about the influence voting has on the government's decisions.
I think, Danielle, although, as you said, the results were not binding, I think they were dramatic in terms of what the results showed. More than 96% of the country saying that they had very strong opposition to offshore oil activities. I think when you realize, and you've covered elections where there's political machinery and they've been months of active campaigning, you realize that just the amount of work that goes into it. So that the conservation community and tourism stakeholders and fishing stakeholders came together and organized this event, and people came out and voted. People stood in the line before the polls opened at 6 a.m. knowing that, yes, exactly, there was no binding mechanism in place for the government to follow those results, but still making sure that their voices were heard. And I think that goes a long way in saying how Belizeans feel about this issue, one, but two, that they were able to have their voices be heard so loudly. And that any politician will tell you that counts for a lot.
Chanona also thanked the Belizean public for supporting the People's Referendum.
At the end of the day, again, it's really to mark this occasion as something we celebrate as Belizeans being proactive, Belizeans being participatory, Belizeans taking a stand, Belizeans taking their voices heard. That's the only way we can go forward as a democratic state. People have to care. And we have nowhere else to go. There's no plan B for Belize. We all need to be involved in this issue, in other national issues, because that's really what it is about, the Belize that we leave for our children and our grandchildren. And we certainly take this opportunity as well on behalf of the entire conservation community to say thank you to the almost 30,000 Belizeans that 5 years ago, as I said, made efforts to make sure that their voices were heard. And definitely I know that should that call ever come out again, and however they have continued to take that position over the since 2012, you know, we recognize their contributions for it and we're grateful for it, and that's really the energy that keeps us motivated going forward.
And that's the news. We'll leave you with